Hi, I'm Kenji, and this will be my rendition of the new Tool Screencast, and that I'll be sharing today. So my technology is Autodesk Tinkercad. If you don't know, Autodesk is a one of the big companies that creates different softwares for CAD purposes, which is computer-aided design. And Tinkercad is a beginner software for many people to use to be able to understand some of these more advanced softwares to use later down the line. So to be able to get the Tinkercad, all you had to do is log into tinkercad.com, and you will have to create an account, which any old username would work. And once that is created, you'd have free reign over this software. The great thing is that this software is free to use, as I mentioned, and it is also web-based. So unlike different softwares where you would have to download and run on your computer, because this is web-based, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you have free reign over the whole software. Um, One good thing about this Tinkercad for teachers and specifically is that it connects directly to your Google Classroom. So if you are using any sort of Google software, mainly Google Classroom, teachers would be able to assign assignments relatively easily, check up on their students, and vice versa. Students would be able to check on their assignments as well and be able to submit them very easily. But onto the main of the software is that this is going to consist of three main softwares. Your 3D designs, which is your 3D software, your circuits, which you would create circuits in, and your code blocks, which is a little bit of a combination of two of them. So 3D design, um, you would be able to create little blocks. It's a very simplistic version of a 3D CAD software, where you'd mostly be learning about the position of objects, how they can combine together, and your relative grid points within the object. So your X, Y, Z's, how big they are, your dimensions, and it can be quickly manipulated in a software like this. The next one would be your circuits. Circuits would be your Arduinos, your coding, your C++ coding. For example, right here, you have LEDs, you have your wires, you have your resistors, you have your 7-segment displays, and you also have your code. So a great thing about this software is that they use block coding to start out with. Block coding is a method of coding where you can put blocks together to create a more sophisticated piece of code. Um, but this is just an introduction to your text. So this is what regular text would look like. This is in this example, it is C++ code specifically, but you would be introduced to your block coding and you would soon move on to actually using the text because when you move these, the text also moves as well. So you start to understand how certain blocks would go together. Eventually, you would move only onto text, but it's a great way to learn how to code, a great for beginners. But I believe that circuits is actually the main attraction to Tinkercad because you are able to simulate different circuits in a web environment. So instead of having to actually bring out physical objects, you would be able to simulate these circuits without the worry about destroying components, the worry about having enough components for students, and it's very replicable within this web environment. So it's just a great software to be using for circuits. And finally, your code blocks. Your code blocks is a little bit combination of the two. Um, when you go to create a new one, you can see that there are some blocks as there was in the coding aspect of the circuits, but what you would do with this is you would use these blocks to be able to start to understand your coordinate grid. You'd be able to position your X, Y's, and Z's and your heights and dimensions of any object. But this is just the framework for understanding the general space within a software for 3D modeling. Another great thing about Tinkercad is that this is very open source, so anyone can upload their projects, their creative projects onto here. Um, you can see as I scroll through, there's a bunch of different projects that you'd be able to download, 3D print, make your own circuits in real life. Um, but all these 3D models that you create in Tinkercad are able to be downloaded as STLs and printed in real life on a 3D printer. But this just gives inspirations to many people to be creating, I don't know, an Among Us, I guess. But another great resource is this resources tab right here. You have the blog, learning center, lesson plans, challenges. I won't go too far into it, but lesson plans, they're very bare bones. Be using the Tinkercad software for a lesson to be able to introduce to your students what Tinkercad is. Your learning center, these are going to be your tutorials on how to use the 3D design circuits, the code blocks. They're very simplistic, but get the job done. And your blog, they keep up to date information here, and they give out some creative projects that you might be doing. Like you can see that they had something for October, the Halloween season. So they had something there. But some of these articles are honestly a great read. But that is about it for Tinkercad. I hope you got something out of this. But thank you.